Hey everyone, Carl back with Littleroot Lessons, bringing you a deep dive featuring Volcarona. We talked a little bit about Volcarona on Wednesday when we were talking about Xerneas and Zacy encounters and things like that. So, figured we could dive a little deeper into what Volcarona does for you, and it's kind of just history in the format. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, helps us out a ton, and comment down below what Series 10 coverage you want me to do. I'd like to look at, I think I covered Zacian in Series 8, but I'm happy to look at it again. If I haven't yet, cool, that's a great suggestion. Maybe some other restricteds would be a good idea as well, just because I didn't really get to cover those in Series 8 when we were doing this. But yeah, so Volcarona. Volcarona is a unique Pokemon because it has these weird tools. You're not very, it's not common to see these kind of tools all in one Pokemon, which gives Volcarona that uniqueness that it really is cool, and it becomes very popular. It's also just a real good check into the fairy type restricted Zacian and Xerneas. It's really good into Zacian because it has fire coverage, and it's really good into Xerneas because it resists all of the stab. And with a lot of the steel types leaving the format, Volcarona actually has less to fear than when it comes to rock coverage. You don't see it as often on things like you don't see Metagross anymore. You don't see Celesteela with Meteor Beam. Colossal's gone, things like that. So the incidental rock coverage that these Pokemon are running are kind of just dissipating, so it gets to do a lot of its unique support things. Introduced in the Isle of Armor DLC, Volcarona took a little bit to finally see some play in VGC. It's always had these unique tools of Rage Powder, String Shot, Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that, but Dynamax kind of just made it unplayable. If your opponent could just Dynamax in front of you and hit you with a base 130 ground type move or rock type move or water type move, your Volcarona really couldn't stand up to it. However, with Dynamax gone in Series 10, it's finally Volcarona's time to shine. The Sun Pokemon gets to show off and do all of the cool things that it always wanted to do. Back in Series, I think it was Series 5, we saw Quiver Dance Volcarona, which was a super offensive set that looked to just set up and do the kind of thing that Xerneas is doing in this format, but it never really took off just because of its really big rock weakness. Looking at partners for Volcarona, it's a great support Pokemon, so you see a wide bevy of just different partners. You see steel types, electric types, grass types, fire types. When it comes to restricted checks, Xerneas and Zacian are the first two that pop up in my mind just because you play these on your team to check these Pokemon. However, these Pokemon are very popular restricted, so in turn, they want to play the Volcarona to check for the mirror and things like that. So, it's kind of just cool to see this, Volcarona gets played widespread as support and answer to these two fairy restricteds. Volcarona also takes fire attacks really well. They may be neutral, since it's a bug and fire type, but with a lot of the fire type damage coming from opposing Volcarona, your special defense is high enough that you don't have to worry too much about taking a ton of damage. So it's a good partner alongside steel and grass types like Celesteela, Aegislash, Rillaboom, Serena. I could just keep listing steel and grass types forever. When it comes to moves and items, Volcarona is just all over the place right now. It hasn't really been solidified yet. This data is coming from the Legacy VGC server. Thanks to Pikalytics for adding all that in for us. The common moves here, Rage Powder, Heat Wave, Protect, Struggle Bug, these seem to be the top 4. These are the most consistent and most common. As you move down the list, you see Will-O-Wisp, Whirlwind, Overheat, Flamethrower, Fiery Dance. I believe Fiery Dance is the signature move of Volcarona. Don't quote me on that. Giga Drain, which is really cool. String Shot. The big one I want to bring up is Whirlwind right now. Whirlwind's a very good answer into opposing Xerneas, opposing Zacian, trying to get them off the field, and just overall being a nuisance. Very good options to do that. I personally like to do Rage Powder, String Shot things. Having that base 100 speed means you get to outspeed a lot of the format right now because everyone's usually Tailwind or Icy Wind and things like that. So you kind of get to do the speed control thing with your spread String Shot stuff. When it comes to items, no surprise here to see Citrus Berry at 48%. Volcarona is not known to be terribly bulky, but it still has decent bulk for what it's doing, and Citrus Berry just kind of helps add on to that. As for other common items, safety goggles to avoid opposing rage powders, because you're not a grass type, so you're not immune to opposing rage powder. Grassy Seed, when you're paired with like Rillaboom, gives you that defense boost. Can be kind of important if you run into opposing rock types and things like that. Focus Sash is something Carter's mentioned in the past. Lets you be a little bit more offensive. Pachot Berry, Chardy Berry, Red Card, Koba Berry. These are all just like weakness things to worry about. Leftovers lets you play a little bit of a bulkier build, which I'm not the biggest fan of. You want to be bulky, but you still want to be proactive kind of situation, if you get what I mean. And Leftovers kind of leads you to wanting to protect a lot more often. Rocky Helmet, Wiki Berry, Agua Berry, these are kind of just like straggler weird items. Aguav and Wiki kind of fall in the same vein of Citrus Berry, kind of just helping add to your bulk, letting you do a little bit more. Rocky Helmet's interesting because you can chip damage on your opponents as they hit you, which you want them to hit you with physical attacks because of your ability Flame Body to try and pick up burns. So it's just this kind of cool niche thing to be doing. When you're looking to build with Volcarona, being bulky with your Sun Moth is important. You want this thing to take a decent amount of hits since you plan on redirecting moves into it. So planning on being fast and bulky at the same time is usually the way to go. Outside of common support moves like Rage Powder and Will-O-Wisp, you get String Shot and Whirlwind, which can cause a lot of headaches for your opponents because they forces switches that they may or may not want to take at the time. String Shot is one of my favorites. Whirlwind forces them out, so if they were setting up in front of you, you can just send them away. And you really want to cover for Volcarona's weakness, especially for like the rock weakness. So you might want to make sure you pack your water types and grass types with you if you're expecting something like that. Landorus Eye has been starting to carry Rock Slide here as of late, so things to think about is just make sure you carry something that can answer Landorus Eye if you want to bring your Volcarona. Looking at movesets for Volcarona, a lot of these sets are max speed, try to go fast, do your thing kind of situation. Whereas they still have a little bit of bulk and can tank a few hits still. The first set is I believe the most common set from Pikalytics with safety goggles, so you get to do flamethrower things into whoever or whatever you want to do. The second set here is something that was shared with me. I believe it's one of somebody's sets. I've been using it a lot and I just wasn't a fan of how slow we were. But you get to be a little bit bulkier in exchange for that, so you can do overheat things and kind of get away with it. You also get to carry Whirlwind here to kind of just be annoying. The last set here is a common set for, I think it was Moxie Boosted. This is the common Moxie Boosted set. Heat Wave. I added String Shot just because I've been playing with this and I wanted to see how it felt. And String Shot's been kind of good when you're max speed. But you're still going to do a lot of damage with Heat Wave, especially since you have 164 invested into a special attack. So you're just outputting damage while being able to do String Shot for speed control. However, this set really is weak to Wide Guard, so be wary of that when you're playing with this set. Beating Volcaronas is easily just packing Rock Slide. Just easy as that. Most Volcarona aren't expected to survive Rock Slide, since its rock type attacks are super uncommon. So put Rock Slide on any of your ground types, on your Landorus Eye, on your Swampert, on your anything that can carry Stone Edge or Rock Slide is going to be a very good answer to Volcarona. Make sure that your physical attackers don't get burned. Avoid using Fake Out into Volcarona, which seems backwards, but you don't have to worry about Fake Out into Volcarona as much because you can always just Fake Out the partner and then Rock Slide or Water Move or do something to it. Because Flame Body is one of the hidden techniques that Volcarona abuses a lot. That 30% chance to burn on contact is really, really good. And Wide Guard's a very powerful tool. Like I mentioned, that last set is super weak to Wide Guard because String Shot and Heat Wave are both spread moves. So make sure that if you're going to play Volcarona and you're already really weak to Wide Guard, make sure that you carry single target moves like Overheat or Flamethrower instead of the Heat Wave that's kind of common. Or Struggle Bug. Struggle Bug's another one. So to wrap up on Volcarona here, Volcarona is looking to be a very powerful support tool in Series 10 after being almost unplayable in the previous series due to Dynamax, which is kind of a cool thing. Volcarona is really, really cool. I really, really like it. I found a random shiny in my box because I was going to use it for something, but then I realized that it's not going to do anything. And then now we don't have Dynamax, so now I get to use it again. with its unique set of tools, Volcarona can cause a ton of headaches for the popular restricted Pokemons, like specifically Xerneas or Zacian, but also can just be an issue for any of the restricteds, really. You can spec your Volcarona to survive Water Spouts because you can outspeed Kyogre and get a Struggle Bug off, or something like that. You don't have to worry about grounding as much because you're not weak to ground. So it's just kind of this cool support Pokemon that's just really good against restricteds. Beware of the rock coverage, though. Their Pokemon are going to start carrying rock coverage specifically for Volcarona. Things like Aegislash, Swampert are becoming very, very popular, and these both get Rock Slide. If you see them on the opposing team, beware. Landorus Eye is the big culprit of it doesn't have a very good Rock type move other than Rock Slide or Stone Edge, so they're going to run Rock Slide or Stone Edge. So definitely just be on the lookout for stuff like that. Otherwise, your poor Volcarona is not going to make it through the match. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone for hanging out and listening to me ramble about Volcarona today. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. All of our handles are there on screen. Check the Discord link out down below. Draft League signups are wrapping up very, very quickly. If you want to get in on a Dynamax format without legends of any kind, check out our fair and square draft format. Link to the Discord's down below. You can follow it, and someone will get you pointed in the right direction there. And then remember to subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. All that fun stuff helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever in the world, and we will see you all next week. Bye, guys.